Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the 2019 New York International Auto Show, where we've just had the unveil of the brand new Mercedes-Benz GLS. This is the global debut, the world premiere, and today we're going to check out the car behind me, the GLS 580, and explore it in detail. The exterior, the interior, the technology that it has on offer, and believe me, there is a lot. They're calling it the S-Class of SUVs, but also the amount of space in the back and the clever way that the seats fold down. So let's get started then and check out the brand new Mercedes-Benz GLS. So here it is then, the new Mercedes GLS, and like I said, having just been presented here at the New York Auto Show, it has been proving very, very popular. So I've held fire just for a moment so that we can take a complete look at this, go for a walk around, go through all of the ins and outs, take a look at the interior, the 3-row seating configuration, the MBUX, but this is the new GLS, the largest member of the Mercedes-Benz SUV family. So you have the GLA, the GLC and the GLC Coupe, the GLE and the GLE Coupe, both of which are made in the same factory as the GLS, and then you have the G-Class, which many of you will know from the imminent arrival of a new AMG G63 on the Shmee 150 channel, and at the top, the largest member of the family, the GLS. Now they've chosen to launch the car here for two reasons: due to the success of the GLS model out here in the United States of America, but also the fact that it's actually built here in Alabama, in Tuscaloosa, a factory that Mercedes have just invested an additional $1 billion into to look towards the future and the hybridization, electrification of different powertrains and further development. So this car is the 580. They've also launched it alongside the 450, and over in Europe there are some diesel engine versions as well. But this has the 4-litre twin turbocharged V8, of course a 4-wheel drive system, the 9-speed automatic gearbox. We'll take a look at that, as also the interior very, very shortly. But the GLS is a very large car. It's grown slightly in size from the previous generation. It's grown by 77 millimeters in length, now 5 meters 20.7 centimeters, also 22 millimeters wider, most of which translates to additional room in the rear sections for the two different seating configurations. You can have either a 7-seat, so 3rd row with 2 seats at the back, or you can have in the US as standard a 2-seat middle configuration for 6 in total. Now let me give you a quick glimpse at what we have on the interior. As you can see, lots of people taking a look at this at the moment, but those lovely large widescreen displays for the cockpit, for the dashboard, for the infotainment, the new MBUX, which allows you to speak to the car. You can literally say to tell the car, you know, hey Mercedes, change the color of the interior lighting, or to move anything, or to close the rear blinds. And there's a lot of technology at play. And I'm just going to come and have a quick peek in the back here, where you can see the seating configuration. You can fold it all down. You've got switches and buttons on both sides at the rear to do so. Basically, convenience features and comfort features galore. Now a lot of that comes from the technology, so the S-Class of SUVs, GL being the name for a Mercedes SUV in general, the S representing that it is the S-Class scale, a larger model. That means you've got a lot of safety assistance systems. You've got the radars, sensors, detectors, surround cameras. It also has the off-roading capability, as seen, for example, recently in the launch of the new GLE. So it has the active suspension system, where basically each individual wheel can be adjusted as required. So let's say the car is stuck off-road, it can basically raise and lower the suspension on one corner to try and free up and get some additional traction. It also has car wash mode, where it will raise the suspension of the car, close all of the windows and the sunroof and anything like that, and by raising the car, the track becomes ever so slightly narrower so that it's easier for the car to fit through a small gap, let's say in a car wash. So you've got a lot going on, but let's start just walking around, look at the design a little bit. So traditional Mercedes style towards the front, the very large 3-pointed star that represents the adaptive cruise control for your emergency braking functionality if required, also for detecting and monitoring and managing cruise control based on the distance to the car in front. You have, for the Mercedes-Benz version here, those kind of dual stripes coming out of it, flanked either side by the full multi-beam LED headlights with over 110 LEDs inside each headlamp unit. Down towards the bottom, the familiar styling, lots of almost disguised openings. For example, there's no actual opening to the side of the sides of the bumper there, but there is down at the bottom. Then with the AMG styling pack, you get the gloss black finish to it. But the design of the car is actually 10% more aerodynamically efficient in terms of the drag coefficient, coming down from 0.35 to 0.32 versus the previous generation. As we come around towards the side, you can see it is sitting on ginormous wheels. 23-inch wheels worn by this car, 21-inch wheels is standard. Those are huge, and they sit inside these almost squared off wheel arches pronounced by the slightly wider fender part that you can see as well. Continuing around the car, the gloss black mirrors, the roof rails, it is huge, but that gives you this massive storage space in the back of it. Now if we just come through quickly, have a quick look at the rear here. So we've got the bench seat configuration here, the 3 seats. You can see from a lot of people that have been playing, it's been moved around a bit, but you have the ability to move it using the control here as well as the control in the boot, depending what you need to do. So by doing this, it tilts the seat forward to make getting into the rear seats that touch easier. Actually, it's one touch, so I can let go of that and it will do the honours. You can have a rear seat infotainment system, which will give you, we do have to hold it to push it back, which will give you 11.6 inch screens for the rear passengers. But also in the centre, wait until I show you this, there's a very convenient control system in the central armrest. I'm just going to use the controls here to fold it back, because I think the previous people have left it in a slightly funny position. Inside here, you have this. Check that out. So you have this tablet back here that allows you to control a lot of the functionality of the car. I'm going to run through that in a moment. Just lots of creature comforts. Even in the rear, by the way, you have USB ports for charging your devices all back there. You can see where this is going, just in terms of having a lot going on. GLS 580, like I said. So I'll look down at the back. Real exhaust tailpipes, always nice in the tow bar, obviously. A lot of towing capability and capacity from the car. Yes, so definitely quite a large car, but a car loaded with tech. So let's climb in, take a better look at the inside. In here then, let me take you for a guided tour. We'll start off at the front, then move back through the rows to take a look in the rear as well. But inside, like the S-Class of SUVs, you notice it's a very high finish. The fit and finish and quality of materials, but also the level of technology. There's a very, very high base specification on the car. So as you're looking around, you can see lots of controls for the different aspects of that. And even if we start actually with the controls that you have on the door, you'll also spot the 3 Burmester speaker grills, the strong sound system that comes as standard, the electric memory seats, the 3 saved positions, but also the amount that you can actually move the seats. Next to that, you have the seat heating, the seat ventilation, and the control to move the passenger seat as well. And if we just have a quick look at this, you'll see the perforation in the base, also in the backrest for the seat ventilation, but just nice leathers, nice stitching, very firm, well, soft initially, but firm supportive headrest as well. And also over on the doors, you've got your lock buttons hiding away there inside the door handle, your mirror controls, and then the windows and the blinds here too, next to the grab handle, and down at the bottom also the button to open the power fold tailgate. If we step over the illuminated Mercedes-Benz side sills, just to take a step inside the car for a moment, those displays are fantastic, very high resolution. You can see that immediately, bright, crisp and clear. And this display that you have right in front of you, of the grille at the front of the car, you can see the almost jagged nature of it, with the headlights flanking around the outside of that. And then this is the MBUX system. So this is just really neatly integrated into the dashboard, the 2 screens. This allows, well, it's now a touch screen, so you can slide and go through the different displays, get to your different controls, and we'll go through all of this in a lot of detail in a moment. But here, for example, your assistance, just look at how much technology the car has. Cameras and parkings, traffic sign assist, off-road assistance, active lane keeping, active braking. Basically, this list goes on extensively with this car, but it also has the ability that you can just talk to it. So you could literally say, hey Mercedes, change the temperature to, and then name your temperature that you'd like it to be inside the car. And talking about that, it also has a 5-zone climate control for the rear and different sections, so everybody can customize how they want the car to be. If I just give a press of the button there, it's not quite hooked up, well, you can just wake up the screen again. What else do you have? You could, like I say, change the color of the lighting. You could ask it to find the nearest pizza restaurant. Basically, you name it, the car will do it. You also have dynamic select, where you can configure the individual mode of the driving settings. You can see the various different elements that you can adjust and configure from there, which are all controlled through this toggle here to go through the actual different driving modes when you're on the road. It's basically got everything from the latest generation of Mercedes vehicles, and this is really, really nicely presented. And you just heard it just heard me, I should say, saying the name of the car. But basically, a very, very clever system that you have available to you there. Now you've got the 9-speed 9G-tronic, as they call it, gearbox, 9-speed automatic, controlled through the stalk out there. You do have pedals on the back of the steering wheel. Talking about the steering wheel, here you've got your adaptive cruise control settings. This is the sensor to do that display. On the right-hand side, you have some media controls, and this is the sensor and buttons to do the main central display. So there's a lot going on. In the glove box, just to quickly show you in here, you also have the fragrance dispenser. Quite literally, you can have the car emitting your perfect fragrance as well, should should you want it to do that on the inside. So just to explore physically more a little bit what you have here, this cover with this catch slides back and reveals your cup holders, a wireless charging pad, USB-C ports. There are USB-C ports everywhere in here, in all of the seats, even right to the very back. In fact, you have seat heating all the way through the car as well. Behind that, a couple more driving and media controls, the touchpad here that you can write on to put in inputs and the like, and then a few of the modes for suspension and helping the car if you're in an off-road environment as well. Now these grab handles do stand out as being a little bit bulky, but if you think when you're holding the steering wheel, your arm kind of rests fairly gently and neatly on there at the end. The trim looks a bit like wood, but still does manage to feel a bit plasticky the way that it's inserted. Opening the glove box inside here, pretty deep glove box, lots of storage space, another USB-C port if you didn't have enough already, your cup holder here that you can heat and cool as well. And yes, I guess that's more or less what we've got up front. You can see a lot of controls, so let's take a step into the back. In the back of the car, and having a look here from the other side, very much continuing as per the front, the same level of quality, the same materials, the same finish to the seats, the same controls on the door, the same sound system, thermistor, also the same trim, same heated and ventilated seats as well. And also down here, just quickly to show you, you have this little storage bucket where you have some more USB-C ports and also a full, in the US at least, 115 volt power socket down there too. Just to close that back up though, one other really cool thing about the back is that inside here, in the central armrest, you have a repeater of the MBUX system, so literally a tablet here that you could remove that gives you all the controls that you have in the front to adjust and adapt as well. You can turn that off and fold it back up. Another little storage bucket that you have there as well, should you wish. Now this bench seating configuration is the standard in Europe. In the US you have the 2-seat configuration as standard, but in both cases you can opt to have it the other way around. Now to fold the seats forward, you have a button just here. They're motorised, one press. You can see how that's moving. It's also sliding the front seat forward, which basically makes it easier to get in towards the rear legroom, which they say is good enough for people who are 1 meter 94 centimeters tall, which is, well, a fair bit taller than I am. So you can see how that makes climbing in just a touch easier. Then you've also got the button, just press it back down, I believe. Maybe you have to hold it down to reverse the seat. Yes, you do. So you have to give that a hold just to push the seat back. But of course, you can then independently move the seats around as you wish. You can do this on both sides. And then from the boot, you can actually fold both rows forward, which is really quite cool as well. You can see how it's adjusting, folding the headrest back up. And then, I guess, in case you've squished your passenger, just the last adjustment to it to be done from the door and fold that back. If I then come round towards the boot, I'm just going to open this up to show you inside here. You have a number of controls, not the most luggage space in the world immediately, but you have a number of controls to fold the seats forward. So from this side you have all, and to do the middle row. So for example from here, if I press the button for to right, which would be the second row of seats on the right, that, as you're going to see, will start moving around and folding itself down. Then on the right hand side, you have the buttons for row 3, where you can do exactly the same. Give those a press, and in a moment, they should start the process to fold themselves forward and tuck on down. Just like that. You could do all 4, but this gives you a sense of what it's like. If you did them all, you'd have the whole boot space available. 2,400 litres of luggage capacity. You can also see from back here, the panoramic roof as well, the glass roof, which is particularly lovely. So lots and lots of space available. You've also got the shelf there, the parcel shelf, just to hide the contents of your boot. You can get the point here. You can adjust and move the car and reconfigure it to house whatever it may be that you'd like to have inside here, and a press of that button just to fold all that back up, all clicks into place. And even back here, heated seats as well for the rear. You can see the controls just down there for the toggles, all connected to that as well. In fact, maybe I'll just come around very quickly to show you. If I fold this back forwards so that you can see these controls that you have just hiding back in here, more USB-C ports and the seat heating and a cup holder as well. So there is a lot of technology, fun technology, as well as all of those assists that we've seen up front in terms of safety and security of the car. Absolutely loaded to the nines, and certainly a car I'm interested to learn a little bit more about in the not too distant future. For today though, that's pretty much been our first look at the new Mercedes-Benz GLS here at the New York Auto Show 2019 at its world premiere, the first presentation of the new car. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below if you like the new Mercedes-Benz GLS, or if you have any other thoughts about it. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. That's it for this time though. I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.